Meghan Markle is a dolphin, not a shark. New villain character unlocked. Meghan Markle as Ursula. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Leilani, Queen of Barbados. Today we're going to talk about Meghan Markle's new investments. Meghan Markle wants you to know that while you povers are sleeping at night, she, quotes, "I spend a lot of time just Googling, looking for brands," Meghan said last week on a call from her home in Santa Monica. I thought she was in Montecito, whatever. Just after she and Harry had returned from the tour of their lifetime, Colombia, which failed. Anyway, when people are online looking for things or reading things, I'm trying to find new designers, especially in different territories. So here's what I think. I think that Meghan Markle is very delusional. And I mean that in a very serious way. Meghan Markle thinks it's back in 2017 when she was part of the royal family and she could get all the freebies she wanted and all the stylists she wanted, and people could sugarcoat her and make her less of a demon than she was. And it is a thing that when Princess Diana wore things, when Princess Katherine wore things, and even now with Charlotte, when she dresses herself and wears things in her hairstyles, everything is copied by people. It's an effect that the royal family has on the public, and it has something to do, I think, with, well, I'm just going to talk from my perspective. You think that everything that the royal family has is probably the best of the best. They're given the best priority, the best choices. And if they're going to use a brand, even from the Dutchy brand in terms of food, you think that is the latest of the latest because that's what they're afforded. Why? Not because they're better than anybody else, although I mean, that's arguable, but but because they get so much publicity and they are looked up to by a lot of people. So if they're doing it, then it makes it okay for other people to do it. That's why they're very responsible with their, for lack of a better word, brand. So yes, if they wear something, it sells out. But not after what you've done, Meghan. After you went on Oprah, everything changed. Let's just talk about it. I know we hate to talk about the Oprah interview, but that was really the paradigm shift in Meghan's life. She came on there with that dress that was neither here nor there. Makeup that was neither here nor there. And they said she was... Sorry. And they said that she was wearing a dress that had been... I can't do that. And they said that the dress she wore, a bird had used the bathroom on it. They said that her makeup was creepy because she was trying to look like Princess Diana in that Martin Bashir interview. People went crazy because of what she presented was so repulsive. And in the years since 2017, when she was in the royal family or started in the royal family, so to speak, and people were looking at what she was wearing and saying, yeah, we could do that too, or whatever. Since then, so much has gone wrong that in fact, brands have done the opposite of wanting her to influence for them. They have asked her to cease and desist. They have disavowed her. Christian Dior had said, nope, we're not affiliated with her. We have no brand deal with her, no collab with her. We have nothing to do with her. The other one was that Rothschild young lady who made the necklace that she kept wearing all the time. They said, we don't have any affiliation with her. Even the stress patch that she wore on her wrist that time, they came out and said, no, we have nothing to do with Meghan Markle. So that's why I'm telling you that Meghan Markle is an anti-influencer. And for her to come 7 years later and think that she even has a dolphin in this fight of branding is wild. She's really out of her mind. And I don't know if this interview, which was a telephone interview with the New York Times, was done because Harry's doing something. So, whenever Harry goes to the UK, Meghan Markle has to pop up and do something to overshadow it. The latest addition to Meghan's investment portfolio, no one asked, is Cesta Collective, a handbag brand which is made by hand from start to finish by women in Rwanda and finished in Italy. What? So, a handbag brand which is made by hand from start to finish by women in Rwanda and finished in Italy. So this is something that Meghan told them, obviously. I mean, it makes no sense. Each bag is created with locally sourced renewable resources. Oh, and by the way, the handbags pretty much look like this. I present to you fashion. In a recent New York Times interview, Meghan explains how she discovered the brand, and then she says she goes on to Googling and she takes her magic queen wand and she chooses with her Google wand what brand she's going to make a star, my darling. In fact, the article is actually called, it's a reference to Shark Tank, where they can make or break your brand or whatever your invention. And the headline of the New York Times article is, Meghan Markle is a dolphin, not a shark. And the reason why she said this is because she said that she's swimming in friendly waters these are all her friends that are making these brands. And yeah, she's just doing a random Google search, but at the same time, these are her good friends. So she's in friendly water. Girl, shut up. It makes no sense. Anyway, in the chaotic, psychopathic mind of Meghan Markle, it does make sense. After Meghan was photographed wearing one of their bags to a dinner date in 2023, Cesta's founders Aaron Ryder and Courtney Weinblatt Fasciano said they noticed they had more sales in one day than we've ever had. Times article continues. Meghan said she realized how much attention was focused on her clothing choices in 2017. That's a long ass time ago, girl. Let it go. Let it go. You're not part of the royal family anymore. Let it go. You dum-dum. Nobody cares about you anymore. Sorry, I just went a bit off key. It's not my key anyway. Following her engagement to Harry when she wore a bag from the Scottish brand Strathbury for a public appearance with him. A founder of Strathbury said the bag had sold out online in 11 minutes after Meghan was seen with it. When Meghan learned that the boost in publicity and sales she had caused had helped Strathbury expand its workforce, it changed, quote, it changed everything in terms of how I then looked at putting an outfit together, she said. And in this article, she references that again. She says, whether I wear it or I don't wear it, once I wear it, the brand then becomes famous. So whether I wear or I don't wear, girl, I don't even know. But the point is, she thinks she's really important to fashion. Now, this is somebody who has been criticized about her fashion from the very beginning. I know I said things got really sour after the Oprah interview, but let's face the facts. Meghan was never a fashion icon. Everything she wore was either jeans and a shirt. You know, it wasn't like, wow, look at the buttons. Like with Katherine, when she wears things, it's like, wow, that just is so nice. The details, she literally is, she's a bunny boiler. She thinks she's Katherine, because when the way she thinks she's being looked at is actually the way that Katherine is looked at, and that Meghan has never been looked at. When Katherine wears things, and I'm trying to explain it to you, you know it's very well done. It's very classic. It is very beautiful. It's all pulled together very perfectly. And she has a really perfect body to show clothing. So that's the other thing that Meghan doesn't have. Katherine is very tall. You know who else are tall? Models. So things definitely will look better on Katherine anyway, and that's why it's had the Katherine effect when it comes to clothing and brands. The only effect we know of from Meghan Markle is that you've been markled. Everything's ruined for you. And she's done weird things like wear Victoria Beckham's label and made it look really bad. Just the other day in Colombia, she did it. You know, we were all there for that. And Victoria Beckham is not even friends with her and doesn't want anything to do with her. So you almost wonder if it was done out of spite. This is the kind of person that Meghan Markle is, and why brands would be absolutely deterred from ever dealing with her. And yet she's out here giving an entire interview. She picked up a phone and talked into it and told somebody that she is the savior of brands, small or large. It turns out that the brand she's actually talking about is quite large and is quite known already, because poor Gwyneth. Because Meghan stalks Gwyneth Paltrow allegedly for legal purposes and will not leave that woman alone. Everything Gwyneth does, Meghan thinks she can do too. Gwyneth is actually the front runner of Cesta Collective. Meghan, it was admitted in the New York Times article, is only a minor investor, meaning she did the bare minimum because she's cheap like dog and she will not give people what they deserve. So she's given the bare minimum to even be part of this thing, supposedly. Well, they take the money. They should be very mindful, because when you have such a big person on board like Gwyneth Paltrow, you have to be careful not to upset your big investors by putting toxic people on the brand, because they might then run away. Another thing, that they might not want their contribution to be diminished by somebody like Meghan Markle, who has such a public stage to go out there and be like, I and Meghan and Meghan did it. I did everything for that brand. You have to be careful. Anyway, why did this all happen? It all happened because Harry went back to the UK. Every time Harry goes back to the UK, Meghan gets like buyer's remorse. Is that what you can call it? It's called you made your bed, but now you have to lie in it kind of thing. And Meghan doesn't want to take accountability for anything in life. So she said the UK people were arsist because they wanted to know the color of the skin of her child, which everyone has realized is not arsist at all. And it went from that to now the UK people want to off her with acid attacks.
And whether it's a knife or acid, whatever it is. And
so therefore, she can't return to the UK. But guess what? In her heart of hearts, in her black frozen heart, she really wants to be in the UK. She would love nothing more. Like, all the other countries giving her adoration, fake paid for adoration, is nothing compared to the UK. If she could get that adoration from the UK, that is her, like, oh, that's her absolute end goal. But it's never going to happen now because she did too much. So whenever he goes there, she gets this childish jealousy about it and always has to come out with a story, an article, an investment to talk about. Why did Harry go to the UK? Even though Harry can't bring his wife back to the UK, Prince Harry secretly returns. Secretly? Why? Secretly returns to the UK for Frosty William reunion at their uncle's funeral. So their uncle had a memorial. He passed away in July, but the memorial is now. And the service was in Norfolk. And yeah, basically William ignored him, and there just seems to be no reconciliation in the future. Also, the gentleman, Lord Fellows, who passed away, was 82 years old, and he was married to Princess Diana's older sister and served as Queen Elizabeth II's private secretary for several years. Okay, whatever the case is, he went there and ain't nobody looked at him. Nobody cared about him. People stayed away from him. So he should not be surprised or disappointed though, right? So yeah, that's where they stand now. Anyway, that's pretty much it, other than I thought that Harry was actually not in the UK because I saw this IndyCar series and I thought this was him, and I thought that he was in the United States, but...
Darlington, it'll be time to get down to business. We'll see him down there, see if he can lock it up and get into the playoffs at Darlington.
I was mistaken, sadly. He's in the UK embarrassing himself. Okay, lots of love to you. Don't forget to subscribe, press the bell notifications, give me a thumbs up if you did like this video, and I will see you in the next one. We have a lot to talk about. You know what we're doing. We're doing our lying series, Meghan's lying series. So please stay tuned. I love you. Bye.
Bye.